I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together.
What's going on, everybody? This Afro Think Tank. I got my goddamn coffee today, goddamn it. I'm so goddamn tired from doing absolutely nothing for as long as I feel like it. It's ridiculous. But while I was on sabbatical from making videos, I saw that Melania Trump came out of nowhere, right? Talking about the Epstein files and how she ain't got nothing to do with it. Now, I never thought that she had anything to do with it besides the fact that she was one of the products on sale. I've always thought that Melania Trump, or this is my hypothesis, this is from my worldly experience and my observation, and I'm sure plenty of others come up with this same conclusion, that Melania Trump is the most successful, high-priced working girl in the history of all working girls. She's transcended her way to the top and accidentally became the first lady because of the rich, fat, narcissistic white guy she chose to marry, or didn't choose to marry, or was forced to marry, or was arranged to be married. You know, it all depends on how you say it, right? But I mean, everybody was almost forgetting about the Epstein files because, I mean, her husband, her contractual husband, who we all know she cringes and loathes, right, started a whole war, killed a whole bunch of children and a whole bunch of innocent people just to keep out of the story. I mean, he's a criminal, still participating in criminal activity to stop people from paying attention to his most egregious crimes, right? Which is his extracurricular activities with children, which seems to be cultural more than just, you know, a couple bad apples. I mean, it seems to be an orchard level event. You know, like, this is what the wine is made out of if we're talking about grapes. This is the ingredient in the apple sauce from these people, not just one unfortunately misguided bad apple, okay? And it's all the way at the top. Like, we're talking about the president of the United States, okay? Now, to be fair, most leaders throughout European history who have reached this status in any era, most of them Europeans were, you know, they consistent. They like this type of stuff. This is when you have power and money, and you can buy anything you want. What you really want is the thing that you're not supposed to have, and they like to get those things, right? Seems like, right? You know, and hell, in Greece, it was a culture. In Greece, this was standard operating procedure with little boys and stuff. Don't make me do a video on it. I'll tell you all this stuff. Anyway, so Melania talking about she ain't got nothing to do with it. And keep in mind, her husband did almost a great job of starting a whole war, you know, threatening nuclear freaking catastrophe in order to keep this shit out of the air, because Trump ain't got nothing to lose. Trump got maybe 10 years left on Earth. What does he got to do? He keep you in litigation for that long until he croak out. He's trying to make it to the end of his life without being held responsible. All right, he may very well make it too, right? But then she came out of nowhere. Nobody was thinking about it because they was thinking about all the babies being murdered over there. All right, but we were gonna get back to it, but we weren't thinking about it just now until she brought it up. And we're like, how random is this, right? And come to find out, her homegirl of 20 years got deported by her husband, right? Because her husband asked Trump to deport his husband, her wife. I guess he was done with her, right? I guess, you know, he probably ordered her from the same place Melania was ordered, and he wanted to upgrade. You know how them rich white folks do, they upgrade, right? Right, so the best way to get rid of her was just to use the system, right? Instead of just breaking up with her, because that's much easier, right? So she like, oh yeah, you know, she was in the circle and shit. So now she's like spilling the tea from overseas and shit, talking about, I know you, Melania. I can spill all that shit. So that's why Melania got ahead of it, because she knew her homegirl was talking shit from overseas, who she stabbed in the back by not supporting and helping out. How they both came up, you know, in the circuit together, both got themselves some rich billionaires and shit, right? But apparently, we know Melania knows about this shit. We know Melania knows about this shit. She's just trying to stay out of it. But I don't think, man, something big's coming. Like the part of the Epstein files that been slow walked this whole time, it must be coming. It must be coming out like forcefully. Like there's no way to hide this particular piece of information. And when it comes out, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, all the shit should be ridiculous already, right? I mean, the whole 14-year-old girl accusing Donald Trump of making her, do that to him and then him beating her. I mean, all the other allegations, I guess none of that shit, I guess none of that mattered, right, to the American public who voted for him 3 times. I mean, he's had a string of questionable, accusations towards him and legal battles pertaining to this particular area and business dealings around this area. So, I mean, you put 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5 and 6 together. I mean, shit. I mean, come on now, right? Especially his rhetoric, which we've caught him saying, you can just, you're rich, famous, you can do anything, let you do it. You just grab by the pussy, right? Apparently Trump likes to grab, like Biggie would say, like them young, fresh and green with no hair in between, you know what I mean, right? Shit, that was a questionable line by Biggie. You might have to examine that shit. Like, what did you mean by that, Biggie? Huh? Be honest. But yeah, this is nuts. Like, we got some ghetto this is like some foreign ghetto shit happening in the White House on top of every type of criminal activity. How are we going to hold any president accountable for anything they do bad? Because the standard of what America in its stress test is willing to accept by a head of state has shown us that anybody with the balls to just say, F it, I'm going to do what I want to do, can pretty much get away with mostly anything they want. Anyway, let's check out the whole storyline, that us black folks ain't got nothing to do with, and us Obama and Michelle Obama have nothing to do with because they're not on Epstein's files. See, there's something that Trump has accomplished that Barack Obama didn't. Making it on them Epstein files. And he's broken all kind of records. His name's on there several thousand times. Obama's not on there one time. So he should be proud of that. He owns something that Obama not. It's some fucking Epstein style files. Anyway, you guys have what you think in the comment section. It's Afro Think Tank. Learn something, teach something. I'm out.
We are getting some insights now as to why Melania may have held her press conference yesterday talking about Epstein and denying her close relationship with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And boy, guys, this is a doozy. And if this is true, some major shit is going to hit the fan here really soon. Melania was probably just trying to get ahead of it, but here it is. She was best friends for around 20 years with this woman named Amanda Unaro. She was together with Paolo Zampolli. You probably recognize that name. Zampolli currently serves as the U.S. Special Envoy for Global Partnerships, whatever the hell that is. But he's a close friend of Trump's. But here's where it gets juicy. Zampolli is famous for being the founder of ID Models. He ran a modeling agency. Starting to sound familiar now? And he famously, supposedly, introduced Melania to Trump back in 1998. Now, Zampolli and Unaro had a child together, and they were never married, but they were having a bitter custody battle over this child. And Zampolli notified ICE of her detention for fraud charges, and she was sitting in jail, and he had ICE come in and detain her and deport her back to Brazil. She came here as a Brazilian model and met Zampolli when she was 17 years old. So now Amanda Unaro is bitter and pissed off and is going scorched earth and is threatening legal action and threatening to reveal everything. Let me repeat what I said earlier. Amanda Unaro was best friends with Melania Trump for nearly 20 years. And she reportedly still maintains a close relationship with Melania's parents. Amanda is threatening on X to tear down the entire corrupt system and go full scorched earth on Trump and Melania. Grab your popcorn, everyone. We're in for a ride here.
Good evening, America. It is your First Lady, Melania Trump. First of all, I want to apologize because I forgot to wear a top. Secondly, I want to address some rumors you might be hearing soon or are hearing now through social media or MTZ. 1. I did not meet my husband Donald on a private island run by Jeffrey Epstein. I met him at a party thrown by a woman who was the next door neighbor of the cousin of a man who is a veterinarian of a small standard poodle named Jinx, who belonged to a woman who was the ex-prostitute of Jeffrey Epstein. I also want to address, I did not at no time shoot several people outside of Philadelphia during the summer of 2009 as the Blue River Murderer. There was no way I could have even been there, as my paperwork to live in America was not bought yet. I also want to say I had nothing to do with the eventual reclosing of the Strait of Whoremouth. I also want to address the vicious rumor that I am actually 3 separate Slovenian grandmothers stacked under a large coat. It is not true. I am one strong, bold, brave woman. Hear me roar. I also want to say I am the reason Robin is touring again, so that is good. I also want to say Donald did not buy me for $1.4 million and 12 very rare donkeys, which produce a type of milk that is helping Donald treat his gout. I have never at any point had sex with every performing member of the Brolin family. I did not lose the lower half of my body in a jet ski accident in 2005 and then being rolled around on a small podium on wheels that is remote controlled. That would be an outrageous thing. How could someone survive that? Thank you for your time tonight, America. Be best.
What the hell just happened? Did you guys hear about this? I've got an article here from the New York Times that I can't freaking believe. Check this out. Oh, hold on a second. Something's happening. There's some sort of breaking news. Let me see if we could take this live. Sorry about that. I couldn't help myself. But seriously, what the hell was that? This is getting pretty good, isn't it? I mean, what the hell does this mean? Something big must be coming. Because why the hell would she do this? Now, I hear a lot of commentary out there that this is just another distraction. That this war is going so badly for Donald Trump that he's seen as such a fucking loser as he is. This was a complete and total surrender that he's trying to spin as victory. Everyone sees through this. And not only that, have you guys seen what is going on with MAGA? Holy shit, is that coming unglued? Did you see Trump's unhinged attack on...
Now everybody has seen my naked body. My husband say he like it. The Epstein list is on it. He's got that something that makes me so embarrassed. Baby, you're a racist, a fat alleged rapist. Hey boy, I really wanna see if you can start nude wars in distorted countries. Hey boy, I don't wanna be with ya, cause you're not my type, but I got that visa. I need a boy who's taking over, elected president just to fuck us over. Oh, 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 fuck the kids in their Christmas. Tear a start on your wish list. I don't know Epstein, but here I am with a shoulder lean.
What do you notice about Melania Trump's facial expression in this clip?
First Lady Melania Trump's bestie of 20 years, Amanda Unaro, is unleashing holy hell on X, and with good reason. Here's how it started, and here's how it's going. Stick around. Let me tell you something. There is no place more dangerous in this world than the space between a mother and her child. And to quote Bob Dylan, when you got nothing to lose. So yesterday, the First Lady gave a desperate live statement from the White House Grand Foyer. She was visibly shaking as she denied her links to Jeffrey Epstein. Why out of the blue? Because Amanda Unaro spent 20 years in Melania's inner circle. A woman who was even a UN ambassador is currently threatening to torch the entire administration from an iPhone in Brazil. Amanda Unaro was there for it all. The Mar-a-Lago New Year's parties, the inauguration, the private UN galas. She was the partner of Paolo Zampoli, the man who literally introduced Donald Trump to Melania. They met when she was just a teenager and he was 32. But when the relationship went south after 2 decades, Zampoli didn't just call a lawyer for custody. He weaponized the full force of the federal government against the woman he called his wife for 19 years to win a custody battle over their American-born teenage son, Giovanni Zampoli. Paolo allegedly coordinated a hit with a high-ranking ICE official named David Venturella and his fellow Kennedy Center board member, Pam Bondi. The result? Amanda was arrested in Miami on a manufactured charge involving a single photo of her hand resting on a laser machine. She was held in ICE detention for 3 months, then deported to Brazil without trial. He kept his seat on the board next to Pam Bondi. He kept his title as presidential special envoy. But then he went too far. A Brazilian court ordered the child returned to his mother, and in total defiance of international law and a direct court order, Paolo Zampoli reportedly snatched the boy from Brazil and fled the country. Amanda has now filed a formal kidnapping complaint. She has nothing left to lose. Amanda is on X right now, posting at Melania saying, "I will take legal action against you and your PDF file husband." She says that she was put on the Jeffrey Epstein plane for the first time when she was 16 years old. Her agent back then? Jean-Luc Brunel, the same guy I mentioned in the Brett Ratner video, the man who co-ran Epstein's modeling agency and then offed himself in a French prison before he could testify. Sound familiar? Amanda says she has all the receipts, photos, physical abuse, proof of millions in insurance fraud, evidence of government bribery. My question is Amanda Ungaro's silence for sale, or will she choose justice over her own personal interest? She's telling the First Lady to shut her mouth because she's about to expose everyone. This isn't a custody battle anymore. It's a thermonuclear threat. So, do you think the truth is finally coming out, or do you think it's another nothing burger? Like, subscribe, and comment below.
The reason why Melania Trump gave a speech today about Jeffrey Epstein is so she can cover her own ass whenever this next crazy ass insane scandal involving the Epstein files comes out. Because there's just no way that she randomly decided to do this. Like, something big and crazy is probably going to drop in the next couple of days, and that's why she did this. Or the war on Iran is getting so fucking bad that Trump's administration needs to distract with the Epstein files. Like, those are the only two options that's going on here, and yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see, but this is fucking insane, and that is the reason why she did this. You cannot convince me otherwise.
You know, how's this situation with the First Lady and Amanda Unaro really going to be reported? Because let's be real, everything up to this point has been nothing but a straight up joke. And I just found out last night how all of this actually went down and how it's all coming to light. And I can almost promise you, no one from the mainstream media is going to report on this stuff. It all went down. And when you start figuring out the abuses of power, you're probably just going to shake your head, because allegedly all of this went down after a relationship dispute and a custody battle. But it all started with Amanda's hand on a laser machine, allegedly. Her med spa that she was an administrative assistant at got shut down. She was arrested for fraud. And then somehow, some way, her ex-husband, who is buddies with the big guy, made a phone call and she got transferred from jail to ICE detention, where she sat for 3.5 months and then got deported to Spain. I don't think any of the media is going to report on this the way that we need to be talking about it. And I'm telling you right now, we need to protect Amanda Unaro at all costs, because we don't need Pam Bondi sitting in front of Congress. We need people talking to Amanda Unaro who can make things happen with these files. And I don't think it's our justice system. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Yo, there was a slave ship in the name of Jesus. There was another ship they called Matthew, Peter, and Paul. Oh God, there was a slave ship they called the Holy Spirit. They had another ship that they called the Holy Ghost. Oh shit, there was a slave ship named Virgin Mary. Oh Lord, oh God, there was a slave ship in the name of Jesus. There was another ship that they called Matthew, Peter, and Paul. Oh Lord.
Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. Free Sudan, boycott diamonds and gold. We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan.
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.